Monday, ba-da, ba-da-da-da. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. It's the Fan Upstate. Howdy, y'all. Welcome in. It is great to be with you. Happy, whatever today is, Monday, the 26th of September. I am Rob Brown. Great weekend. Great weekend in sports, great weekend in football. The President's Cup won by the Americans. We're going to talk that later on in the show. Clemson, double OT dub on the road at Wake Forest. South Carolina finally look like they can run the football a little bit. We're going to talk about that. And, of course, yesterday the Panthers get their first dub of the season at home over my New Orleans Saints, a game that I was at. And ladies and gentlemen, the perfect record of Rob Brown at New Orleans Saints away games has come to its end. I am now not perfect on the life anymore as far as away games go for the Saints. Tell you a little bit about that experience yesterday up in the Queen City, all that and more coming up moving forward. But before we do, let's get some introductions out of the way, shall we? It's only polite. My name is Rob Brown. Howdy. It's a good thing because otherwise the show would have a very awkward title if it wasn't. Directly across from me, filling in for the great one, Lonzo, on a well-deserved vacation this week, my man T2, Tim Snow, the Timinator, sitting in. What's up, big fella?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
How are you, buddy?
I'm great. I'm doing okay.
I love it. It's bright and early for you, isn't it?
Oh, not really.
Tim's like, I got kids. I'm up.
Yeah, dude. I had to take them to school in the morning, so I get up at about 6:30 every morning.
Gross.
Yeah.
So was I. And this is gonna shock some of you.
I look at it this way: I can sleep when I'm dead.
Respect that. Respect that. I'm the same way. I will tell you.
My doctor would disagree, though.
Correct. Correct. I will tell you. Rob Brown slept over 8 hours last night. It's unheard of. I was out at like 10 a.m. Or 10 p.m. last night after a very long day on the road up in Charlotte, and then got up at 6:30 this morning. It was a full 8.
It was a full 8?
Yeah, it was nuts. I can't tell you the last time that happened.
I can't tell you the last time I've gotten a full 8 hours of sleep.
It doesn't. I don't. It doesn't happen. I don't. What a day, man. What a day. Had a great time yesterday up in Charlotte. It was I had been to a soccer game at the bank. I was there a few months ago when the Charlotte FC hosted Chelsea out of the Premier League, and what was a fantastic match, won by Charlotte FC and PKs after the game was concluded. But that was my first Panthers game, and went up there. Look, the atmosphere was very good. You could see the reason, with all due respect to Panthers fans, you could feel the reason that Carolina kind of gets a rep as a wine and cheese social club fan base, right? The game was nowhere near sold out, all right? That was probably 80% full, maybe. But also the team was 0-2, right? The team was 0-2 coming into a game that they were 5.5-point dogs against New Orleans. They got it done. A good chunk of the reason why was the Panther defense. It was the Panther defense going to get unmuted. Beautiful. And just make sure everything is in utility, and we should be good to go. So if you're listening on the sound, we should have the sound worked out. If not, let us know in the stream, and we'll get that fixed for you. It was good. It was good. It was a good environment. It was a good atmosphere. The Carolina defense came through and got it done. The fumble return for a touchdown off of the Alvin Kamara fumble was the turning point. It never felt like the Saints were a threat after that. They had the long touchdown drive where they worked the Saints worked the way offensively down the field, punched it in on the Mark Ingram touchdown run. They would obviously score another touchdown later with the Marquez Callaway one-handed touchdown in the end zone, which was exceptional. But at that point, Carolina was just kind of letting New Orleans burn up the clock. It was an outstanding effort by the Panther defense. New Orleans was really never able to get anything going. And they look good. They look good. Offensively, still a lot of questions yet to be answered, right? There are a lot of questions that the Panthers have to answer offensively. Baker did not look good. The wide receiver core was okay. Chenault, the new receiver out of Jacksonville, had those 2 touchdowns. I mean, look, offensively, there are some question marks. Offensively, there were some question marks. Offensively, there were some issues. Defensively, this team looked as good as we've asked. My man D-Love, Daniel popping into the Facebook chat saying, is it time for Andy Dalton in New Orleans? Saints coaches have to be better. As a Saints fan, I'm wildly disappointed, and I obviously am not going to spend a ton of time breaking down the Saints on the show. But what I can tell you is about midway through the third quarter, P1 Keegan went with us. The lady friend in the Madre went. And by the end of the third quarter, all of us were like, I think you got to make the switch, right? I think you got to make the switch. Jameis is very clearly banged up. And again, respect for a guy trying to play through it when he's got 4 cracked vertebrae in his back, right? Respect for a guy trying to push through it when he's got multiple fractures in his back. I've never had a fractured back before, but I assume it probably, what's the scientific word? Hurts a lot. That'd be my guess. I've had a broken rib before, and I'm going to tell you right now, with a broken rib, it hurts to breathe.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It hurts to breathe. It hurts to lay down. It hurts to stand up. It hurts to sit. It hurts to breathe in. It hurts to breathe out. It just hurts. So
it hurts to exist.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When I broke my rib, I am not kidding, very legitimately had to drug myself to sleep every night.
Yep.
Because every movement hurts. And when I say movement, I'm not talking about moving your body. I'm talking about breathing in and breathing out hurt like hell.
Not to mention sneezing and coughing.
All of it.
Yeah.
It's the worst. So I imagine that, listen, a broken rib obviously is impact because your rib cage expands and contracts when you're breathing. And I don't know that a broken back does the same thing. What I do know is that Jameis was not picking up blitzes. Carolina recognized that and was sending different guys from different spots, and it was working out exceptionally well for them. The New Orleans Saints offensive line was a boat show yesterday, and Carolina picked them apart. Picked them apart. It was great to see. It was great to see. So, good win for the Panthers. After the game was over, and this kind of piqued my interest, and we're going to talk about this. Lonzo and I are going to be recording the Views from Inch Street podcast later on this afternoon. That episode will drop later on tonight. And I'm going to get into this. After the game was over and the Panthers won, remember, it was the first home game they've won in over a calendar year. And they broke a 9-game losing streak. So they kept the losing streak from going to double digits. After that game was over, Robbie Anderson and the team took a game ball to Matt Rule and gave Matt Rule a game ball for that win. Now, on one hand, you're like, it's kind of silly, right? You won your first game in 10. It is your first home win in over a calendar year. Why are you handing the head coach a game ball? But I think there's something to be said there in that it showed that the team is ready to and willing to fight for Matt Rule, is basically what it came down to. The team was ready to, willing to, able to, and did fight for Matt Rule. So I think there's a chunk of, there was a report that dropped. We were tailgating in the parking garage right next to the stadium before the game started. And there were, there were 20, 30 cars in our little pod in the parking garage. And there was like a handful of us that were Saints fans. And then obviously at an away game, the majority of folks were Panthers fans. And we were standing there and my phone pings. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, which means ESPN sent me a push notification. And despite the fact that I was at a game, I'm always working. I've always got eyes up in the world of sports to make sure I don't miss anything. And the story comes out from Ian Rappaport. He tweeted it out on Twitter that Carolina was going to take a very patient view. A very patient view with what is happening around Matt Rule. Rappaport and a bunch of others tweeted out something to the effect of, and I need to go actually find the tweet for you. It came out yesterday, right before the game started. Like right before the game started. And it said something along the lines of, Carolina Panthers will be very patient in their evaluation of Matt Rule. Rappaport, here's a tweet. With a 9-game losing streak, the wins and improvement must come. But hashtag Panthers owner David Tepper is planning to be patient with Coach Matt Rule, sources say, and no change is imminent. And he popped out a story along with that. So we're in the parking garage across from the bank. And that story comes out, and, as I am wont to do, I've made friends with a couple of Panther fans that are right there in our little pod in the parking garage, and we're going over everything. And I said, did you guys see this? The guy was talking to was like, see what? And I showed him. Says Tepper told Rappaport, or somebody inside the program told Rappaport, that David Tepper and company very much plan on being patient with Matt Rule. Plan on staying the course for right now. And the guy looks and he says, you know what? It doesn't surprise me, and I don't know how I feel about it. I said, really? Tell me why. And the conversation basically went, we're on a 9-game losing streak. We're underdogs in the South. And I said, all right. And by the way, I met up with Rashad Beard of the Panther Nation podcast. He will join us on the show Thursday, and we'll break this down. But Rashad and David and me and Keegan had a couple of refreshments during halftime, right? Carolina's in the lead at that point. The fumble return for a touchdown was the difference. And was talking with Shad, and I said, did you see that Rappaport story? He said, yeah. So what do you think about it? He goes, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I said, all right, here's my question. If I said to you right now, you guys are going to go 0-3 in your next 3, 0-5 in your next 5, and the result is Matt Rule gets fired, would you take it? And Rashad went, guarantee he gets fired? I said, yeah. If you go 0-3 and then 0-5, I guarantee Matt Rule is fired. Would you take it? He goes, yeah, I would. I'd rather go 0-8? I'd rather go 0-8 and get rid of Matt Rule than go 5-12 and give him one more year. So really? He said, yeah. The reason I bring that up is this. The fans very clearly after that game. In fact, I'll give you one more and then I'll get to that point. Before the game started, Carolina did their roll call, right? They sounded off the starters on offense and defense. Shi Smith, University of South Carolina. Yeah. Baker Mayfield, University of Oklahoma. Yeah. Matt Rule, head coach, boo. Like the stadium booed Matt Rule, right? They booed Matt Rule. And I get the frustration. But here's why this is interesting to me, and then we'll take a break. What is interesting to me about this is the fact that the fans are over Matt Rule. But when the team caught the dub, when the team walked out and broke the 9-game losing streak, when the team balled out against New Orleans yesterday. By the way, when I say the team balled out, I mean the defense balled out and saved the offense. And they beat the New Orleans Saints. The players themselves went straight to Matt Rule and said, Coach, good dub, here's the ball. Here's the game ball. Good dub, here's the game ball. What that tells me is that while the fans are out, the players are in for Matt Rule. The players are ride or die with Matt Rule right now. At least that's what it looked like. And maybe that was a Robbie Anderson decision, right? Thanks for sticking with me, Coach. I know I had some dropsies last year, but thanks for sticking with me. Here's our game ball for the dub. Been a minute since we handed one of these out. Maybe that was just Robbie Anderson making that decision. But the reports that it were that it was a team decision. The reports were that it was a team call to hand the game ball over to Matt Rule. And if the team is still ride or die with Matt Rule, if the team, if the guys, if the helmeted ones are still ride or die with Matt Rule, then yes, David Tepper's going to stick with him. Because the only thing that would cause more chaos right now than keeping Matt Rule and going on another 6 or 8 or 9 game losing streak, the only thing that would create more chaos in this situation is if the team coming off of a win and maybe even stacking a few together. Remember, their next 2 are at home as well. The only thing that would cause more chaos than leaving Matt Rule in the place that Matt Rule is in right now would be firing him and having the head coach that the team is ride and die with be gone, and losing the team as well, losing the roster, because the roster's upset that you let this cat go, right? So we'll see what happens. But yes, it was very interesting to me, very, very interesting to me, that the team walked a game ball directly over to Matt Rule after their first win in 10 football games. It's interesting because the team's cohesive, even if the numbers aren't there yet. Rashad Beard will join us on Thursday morning show. Let's run to a break. When we come back, we got to break down Clemson's win on the road at Wake Forest. Double OT win. And to borrow a phrase from the great one, are the Cadites off the wagon? Are the Cadites now DJ Uyunglalians? I don't know. I needed to come up with something on the fly. That's what I got. It's not good, but that's what I got. All right?
I thought it was great.
Let's take a break. We'll come back with that conversation next. My name is Rob, the Timinator, sitting in for the great one, Lonzo, today out on vacation. 844-FAN phone, 844-326-3663. Text us on the Preferred Home Services text line 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. The Rob Brown Show rolls on after this. This is the Fan Upstate. Sounded all right. What happened?
Is that one of your exits?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Didn't sound like an exit to me. Oh, okay. So Stephen Webb wants me to ask you about the banner.
It was brought to the Burns game.
Yeah, and you forgot it, didn't you?
I did because so Florence, where they played, is with traffic 2.5 hours from here. No, sorry. With traffic 3.5 hours.
Where? Florence?
Florence.
Yeah,
They
you're
were
right.
at West Florence. So after the show on Friday, I left here. I left the studio at 12:15. I left my house at 2. I got to West Florence at 5:30. Did the game did pregame at 7, kickoff at 7:30. Did the whole game, obviously. Left, got out of that stadium because the two guys, Sam and Lane, that are working with me, they brought the banner. Because I left the banner at the last Burns home game. So they brought the banner. Well, they both left early because they were driving to Charlotte after the game was over because they were going to the President's Cup golf tournament on Saturday. They left while I was packing up, and I forgot to grab the banner for them. So I got to go to Greer today to meet them to get the banner.
So you left it in Florence.
No, it's in their truck.
Oh, it's in their
Yeah,
truck?
it's in
Oh,
their
okay.
truck. I just forgot to get it out of their truck.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get it. We'll get it back. Because Rob is the man, and he will remember to get it back.
Don't put that pressure on me, Ricky Bobby.
Oh, I'm definitely putting that pressure on you. Where did my logs go? I know I had them. What time is it? It is 9:30, almost. Sorry, I think out loud a
I
lot.
do the same thing. You're good.
It helps me stay
O'Reilly.
let's see what that says. Okay, yeah, no, the clock looks good and the spots look good.
Okay, perfect. I agree, buddy.
Oh, yeah, sorry about the audio at first. I'm used to the pulse, and it's opposite over here. All right. Hey, what's supposed to air after you?
Jim Rome show.
Jim Rome? Okay. All right, we're coming back. I don't see any lives for you today.
There may not be.
Okay. I just thought it was
All my
weird.
lives are like week on, week off, so sometimes they all match up in a weird way. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. Thanks very much for sitting in. Rob, T2, the Timinator with you. Good night's sleep last night. You will not hear me yelling like I am used to today. Like ordinarily, I'm dramatically louder than I am right now. But, anyway, the Burns game Friday, which was an absolute barn burner. Burns did drop their first game of the year. They're now 5-1, but that was against a very good top of the 4A charts West Florence team. Burns was missing. Hear me out on this, Tim. You're not necessarily, all due respect, not necessarily a sports dude.
No.
But you're a video game guy, and I think there's a lot of crossover in many places. I have said for many years that there is a major difference between reasons and excuses, right?
Yeah.
If something goes wrong and there is an excuse for something going wrong, an excuse is when something within your control didn't get done to ensure the best possible outcome, right? Something within your control doesn't get done.
Agreed.
And a reason is when something outside of your control happens, right? So, if T2 is playing a video game, as the kids do, and you lose that game, Tim Snow, and the reason you lose the game is I'm a Warzone guy. The reason you didn't win the game is because you didn't call in your loadout in time. So you were playing the back end of the game with inferior weapons in the game.
Right.
And then you go, I didn't get my loadout. That's an excuse. You could have. You just didn't do it. You didn't do the thing that would have helped you get the best outcome.
Right. Or you didn't look when you were supposed to look.
Excuses. You could have done the thing.
Yeah.
Reason you might have lost might be, for instance, you found yourself a really good spot, but when that last circle in the battle royal opens up, it's on the other side of the map, and there's just no way to get there. There's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing, yeah.
There's just
nothing
bad
you can do.
luck. That's a reason.
And of course, if people are cheating, which is against the rules.
Hate it. So, reasons versus excuses, right?
Right.
Reasons versus excuses. Burns played that game. They had 7 linebackers on their roster to start the year. 4 of them play both ways, meaning they play offense and defense. They're backup linebackers, but they're like the starting running back and wide receiver. Burns started that game against a team that the week before rushed for 225 yards on the ground. Started that game with, of those 7 linebackers, started the game with 4 of them hurt, unable to play. One of them tried their best just on a bum ankle. Deshaun Briggs just couldn't go.
Okay.
James Oates was out, couldn't dress. They lost, obviously, Miguel Dingle, the best player at the beginning of the year. Just a lot went wrong. Then, during the course of the game, R.J. Livingston, who is their starting running back and also backup linebacker, he also went down. In them going down, they were basically down to their last 2 linebackers, one of whom plays wide receiver. Those 2 positions don't ordinarily cross over, and was basically pressed into duty, likely without a ton of preparation during the course of the week because of the whole he doesn't play linebacker thing in Elijah Barnes. That is a reason that you lose, not an excuse. There's nothing you can do. You can't control injuries, obviously. And in not being able to control injuries and then having all those injuries stack up, that's out of your control. There's not anything you can do with that, right? Clemson, to switch from Burns over to the Tiger Men's, Clemson went on the road this weekend. They headed up to a top 25 team in Wake Forest, and they got the dub. They figured it out, and they got it done. A 51-45 double overtime win. And you know why they won? Because there was not an excuse that they could have made. They took care of all the reasons. DJ Uiagalelei, 26 of 41, 371 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Will Shipley, back on the right path, 20 carries, 104 yards and a touch, averaged over 5 yards per carry. Tim, I'm bad at math. Like, real bad at math. But.
Me too.
But I think even we could get this one right.
All right.
A first down in football is how many yards?
10 yards.
10 yards. Thank you, Tim. And if your running back is averaging 5.2 yards per carry, how many carries does he need to get a first down?
2.
Thank you very much. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We are SAT ready. Now, granted, one of those runs was a 53-yard banger out of Will Shipley. But if you give me a running back who's averaging 5.2 a carry, I'm going to show you a team that probably won the football game. On the flip side, they held Wake Forest to 110 and no touchdowns on the ground. 110 and no TDs. Justice Ellison, 73 yards on 21 carries. Longest run was 11 yards, averaged 3.5 yards per carry. That's a real good day. All right? That's just a real good day. On the through the air. Oh, by the way, I mentioned DJ with his 371. Also had 14 carries for 52 yards, including a 23-yard run. And keep in mind that in college ball, sack yardage comes off of your total. So that is included with the sack yardage there. That ain't bad at all. Only gave up 1 sack, by the way, did the offensive line of Clemson. One of the question marks for the Tigers. 1 sack. Joseph Nagata, 4 grabs, 84 yards. Jake Brenningstool, 6 for 72 and a touch. Bo Collins, 4 for 60 and a touch. Antonio Williams, 3 for 51. Brendan Spector, 1 for 41. Davis Allen, 4 for 36. Shipley had 3 for 15. EJ had 1 for a dozen. 5 touchdowns through the air. 2 of them went to Davis Allen. 1 of them to Brendan Spector. On the ground, they were good too. Shipley 104, Uyunglele 52, Phil Maffa 7 carries for 26 yards as well. And defensively, they were solid, man. They were solid. I know that you gave up to end up enough in overtime, but you were on the road at a top 25 team. It was your toughest game thus far. The Tigers are 4-0 at this point. That's what you needed. That's what you needed. That's what you wanted. That's what you expected. You blew out Georgia Tech. You blew out Furman. You blew out La Tech. You went to your toughest game so far on the road at Wake Forest, and you got them in double OT. Everything went right. The offensive line was much better. The run game was working. The only thing that went wrong was that you gave up a heck of a lot of yards to arguably the ACC's best quarterback in Sam Hartman, who went 20 of 29 for 337 and 6 touchdowns. So your defensive backfield's probably got to get a little bit better. But you are likely not going to face another quarterback quite as good as Sam Hartman. I'll tell you who all of a sudden looks interesting. You got NC State coming to the house. And by the way, if you don't have plans on Saturday, College Game Day will be at Clemson this weekend. They were at Appalachian State a couple of weeks ago, and now they come back to the upstate. College Game Day is going to be in Clemson this weekend for the matchup against NC State. But check this out. Matchup predictor, according to ESPN's Football Power Index, which takes all of the stats and scores and whatnot into consideration. Clemson, according to the ESPN Football Power Index, has an 83.5% chance of winning this football game against NC State. That's a top 10 NC State team, kids. Top 10 NC State game. And they got an 83.5% chance to win. What else are you looking for? Clemson is coming into this game as of today, and we'll see what the Vegas bettors do over the course of the week. But as of right this moment, Clemson is a 7-point favorite at home They are minus 285 on the money line. That means you are almost a 3-1 favorite over a top 10 NC State team. I don't know what else you could ask for. What else could you want? That's impressive, my dudes. That's a great line for the Tiger Men at home against NC State. I will tell you one game that suddenly looks a lot more intriguing to me. As of right now, the 4-0 Florida State Seminoles are 2 weeks out. October 15th. That game's down in Tallahassee. Tallahassee sold out against Boston College this weekend, and Tallahassee got it done. Florida State, big winners over Boston College, 44-14. One of their touchdowns in garbage time. It was really 44-7. Now, Boston College ain't good, right? They're not good. But they're not god-awful either, right? They're not ranked. They're nowhere near. Now they're 1-3. They're not awful. Florida State, according to the same football power index that is giving Clemson a, what we say, 85% chance to win effectively against NC State, 65% chance to win against Florida State on the road down in Tallahassee. That game looks really interesting now. Mike Norvell and the Noles may have found a little something. That's not to say Clemson needs to overlook NC State. You better not. Again, that is a top 10 team. That is a 4-0 Wolfpack team. That's a Wolfpack team that defensively is going to G-A-T-A, get after that ass. That being said, who do they have wins over? At ECU by a single point. They ran Charleston Southern off the field at home. They escaped Texas Tech by 2 scores. And then they beat a terrible UConn team this weekend, 41-10. NC State's not bad. And defensively, they can get it. But they have not played anywhere near Clemson's level yet. Anywhere near Clemson's atmosphere, right? Clemson did a lot right this weekend. DJ Uiagalelei looked very solid. Looked like the guy that we expected him to be, right? I'm going to go ahead and tell you that the Cade Klubnik discussion needs to stop now. I don't think anybody, well, let me phrase that. I was going to say I don't think anybody is still on that bandwagon, but I know that there are. There is someone somewhere this morning that is waking up to a DJ Uiagalelei 371 and 5 touchdown, 87.2 QBR day and going, oh, we got to make the switch. Got to make the switch. It was just Wake. He's going to let us down. Look, I'm not sitting here arguing that Wake Forest defense is anywhere near what NC State's is going to be. It's absolutely not. It's not. I am going to tell you that NC State's offense isn't what Wake's is. They don't have a guy like Sam. They don't have the speed on the outside, at least as far as I'm concerned. Don't have the speed on the outside that Wake has. You will need a DJ Uiagalelei like he had on Saturday to get there. But, again, for a reason, when it came down to it, this team got it done against a very good Wake team. This team's got an NC State Wolfpack team that is going to attack, and the FPI says you have an 85% chance to win the game. Clemson fans, do you feel better today than you felt last Friday? I got to say the answer is yes, right? I've got to say that the answer is yes. It's got to be. Let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about how South Carolina looked on Saturday. playing an outman and outgun and overmatched Charlotte team. They needed to come out and win. The spread was 22.5. As far as I was concerned, the Gamecocks were playing against the spread, and they smoked it. And that's good news. Let's break that game down next on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
Plenty of time to go to the bathroom, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You are correct, Steven. If Zoe is watching, he's watching that ball spin around like, oh no!
You can play Warzone with me, man.
Dude, I'll play tonight. I'll be on tonight. I ain't doing nothing tonight.
Are you playing tonight?
Yeah, I'll play tonight. Yeah, hit me up.
Yeah, dude.
I'm terrible, just letting you know. I'm going to bog you down, but...
I'm not that great at Warzone, actually. I'm better at Cold War. Have you played the beta yet for Modern Warfare 2? Oh my god, dude.
I stopped buying games earlier, and when I looked at it, it looked to me, and I could be wrong, but it looked to me like you have to pre-order the game to get into the beta.
Nope.
You do not?
Nope. Today's an open beta, I believe.
Well, then I may jump on it today. I really do kind of hope they go back to the format of the.
You can only level up to 16 though.
That's fine. I'm not good enough to.
I'm better on games, small maps like that, not the big, large ones. So
I like big open maps. The only problem that I've had with the game recently has been the fact that the movement's been broken to me. Like guys that are running around, jumping up and down and ducking it. It's like, dude, that's not. The movement should not work the way that it works. I don't want to play Fortnite, man. I want to play a military game.
Yeah, 24th through the 26th, open to all players.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll be on tonight.
So it should be open tonight.
Shoot me a text when you get going. If I'm not on, I'll pop on.
All right.
I will bring some terrible gameplay and comedic relief to your stream.
My son might play with us if that's okay.
100%, I don't care.
He gets a little annoying sometimes, so just to forewarn you.
I'll do my best about not saying dirty words on your stream.
But he is a Saints fan.
Who
by the
dat,
way.
baby? Let's go. I like him. I like him already. I'm also described as kind of annoying sometimes, so.
He doesn't watch football too much, though. I got to start watching it more with him. I'm always here.
Dude, I'll set up a little Saints watch party one week and bring them up. We'll watch the game together.
That'd be cool. Yeah, so his my wife's aunt, so I guess his great aunt,
Yep.
sends him. She lives in New Orleans, and
Yep.
they have one of those. I don't know. She sends us cups because they have one of the big floats or
Yeah.
something for the.
Like in a Mardi Gras crew or something?
Yeah, like it's something for that. I'll find out exactly what it is, but yeah. So, but she'll send us cups from that. So I have like a whole bunch of those cups at home.
I love it.
And he gets nothing but Saints stuff.
I like it.
So Yeah, man, he's a good kid though. He's awesome. He got in his first fight though at school the other day.
Oh snap! Did he win?
He won. He was defending himself too, which is awesome.
I love it.
And he did not get suspended because he didn't get caught.
Because he
I taught him
didn't get
right.
Caught. My guy.
Where's my music? Please?
T2 said, "Do you want to play some Warzone tonight?" We were talking about video games during the break. He's like, "You want to play some Warzone?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it." He goes, "My son's gonna play with us, and he can be." I'm gonna say this on the air, too. Don't be mad at me.
No, it's fine. It's
He goes,
fine.
"My son's gonna play with us. If that's cool, he can be a little annoying, but it's
When,
fine." I'm
when
like,
he
"Yeah,
gets
that's
on
fine."
when he gets on the headset, yeah, he can be.
That's all right with me. So he says, "Yeah, but he's also a Saints fan." I'm like, "Oh, I like him." And my man Skrilla popping into the chat goes, "Kind of annoying and a Saints fan is Rob's bio." You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let me jump into this. I want to break down the South Carolina game, but before I get to that, I have to break down something else because I teased it on Friday. After the Burns game on Friday in Florence, I stopped by Buc-ee's. You been to a Buc-ee's yet, T2?
A Buc-ee's?
Yeah.
Is that the big like
gigantic
gas station
ass
store?
Gas station / Walmart.
No,
/
but I
mega
did.
Store.
I did drive by one the last time I was in Charlotte. I think it was Charlotte anyway.
So I had been to a Buc-ee's once before, but it was like years ago, right? And we stopped at a Buc-ee's in Alabama like 12, 13 years ago, like right after Buc-ee's kind of started being a thing. I was with the Madre. We were going to a family reunion, and there was a wreck on the interstate that backed up traffic for like an hour.
Oh, what
Mom was
else is
like,
new?
Let's pop, right? She was like, "Let's pop off. Let's hit this gas station." We had no idea. We just saw Buc-ee's. We're like, "Let's hit off this gas station." We walked in. I'm like, "Damn, that's a lot." But we just kind of like breezed in, checked it out, got a soda, filled up the car, got back on the interstate. It's the first time I'd ever like gone into a Buc-ee's. Now, I'll start with this. It was 11 o'clock at night. All right. I got done with the Burns broadcast at 10:30. I was in the car at 10:45. I hit the Buc-ee's at like 11:15. It was freaking packed, right? You'd have thought it was the middle of the damn day. It was packed. But I walked in the Buc-ee's, which again, I'd been in once before, but I didn't really like take it in, man. So I walked up into the Buc-ee's and looked around. Yo, what the hell? What is this? What is this place? It is a gas station meets a Walmart meets like a Southern Home and Garden magazine. If you turn that magazine into a store. So I walked in, and the first thing like there's it's a small restaurant is what it is. It's not even a small restaurant. It's a restaurant. So I cut to the right where all the merch was, and they have got just hallways of random decorations for your house, right? There's all these big wooden signs that have like cute, fun little sayings on them. Like one says, "In my house we will serve tacos, salsa 316."
Dude, like tacos are awesome.
Yeah, big fan. Big fan. Big fan of tacos. So we roll up in there. I roll up in there, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" Then I keep walking, and I turn a corner through the like home decoration side. First off, when I showed up, because I know they had this stuff, but I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, who in the hell goes to a gas station to decorate their house? And then I walked in, and I'm like, dude, you could decorate your entire house just with stuff from Buc-ee's. And it all matches. So then I turned the next corner, and here's what blew my mind. You can buy, Tim, cow skins.
Cow skins.
Entire cowhide.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought to myself, how many of these do you sell? That you can just sell a whole ass cowhide.
I mean, like, are we trying to keep warm during the winter? Or?
Yes, but it's not like a blanket, right? Like I thought, okay, maybe it's like a blanket. It's not. It literally is just the hide with the fur on one side of it.
Maybe like a carpet.
My thought was maybe a rug, like maybe lay it out.
Yeah,
but then I'm like, but a cow?
Like Gaston or something. Like he has that big thing.
Gas station. Then my favorite part. So I walk down to the end, and like the further you get down, they have like a clothing section, and they have like grunt clothing, and they have.
Wait, what exactly is grunt clothing?
It's like a patriotic themed
grunt.
Yeah, it's if you ever seen the dudes in the shirts that have like a picture of a rifle across the front, like 1776 on the arm, that's grunt clothing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? So I'm like, all right, man, like I get it. They got like fishing clothes from like some really like nice companies. They sell Justin cowboy hats, which is kind of like middle of the line cowboy hats, like real nice hats. Like I own 3 of those.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, this is nice. Then my favorite
I own 0 of those.
I'll get you hooked up. I turn the next corner and I walk over, and there's like an entire, I'm legitimately talking like 500 square feet of women's clothing, right? And I'm like, all right, you got the dudes like hunting and fishing clothing over there. You got the women's clothing over here. And then I turn a corner, and there's a wall, Tim, the size of the wall of the studio, of swim clothes for women. Just women's swimming bathing suits, right? And my favorite part is over like on the far side of the wall, there are bikinis with the Buc-ee's logo on them. And I'm like, not like a tag. I mean like the Buc-ee's logo embroidered onto a bikini. And I'm like, I do not know a woman in my life. Let me phrase that.
I don't think, yeah.
I don't know a woman in my life who outwardly would be like, yes, I'm going to rock this bikini with the gas station logo on it. Like, what is this? Then I turn another corner. You can buy adult size full Buc-ee's onesie, like the beaver head hoodie.
No. Oh,
right?
no.
Turn another corner. Every piece of clothing you can imagine with the Buc-ee's logo on it. And I'm like, who is buying this? And then I look around. Lots of people were buying Buc-ee stuff. But the review that I was given, or the suggestion I was given, was to get a brisket sandwich and beaver nuggets from the Buc-ee's. So I did.
Beaver nuggets.
Beaver nuggets.
Nice.
They're like I don't even know how to describe them. They're like cornmeal mushed into nugget shape, but then they like caramelize them and put like brown sugar with that.
Oh,
They're
okay.
Really good. Really
Yeah.
good. I was gonna bring some into the work today, but I gave the bag to the girlfriend, and I don't know that they exist anymore. The brisket
Probably
sandwich.
not.
The brisket sandwich was good. It was a B+ effort, and that's very commendable from a gas station, right? Because my thought was like, I'm a gas station brisket sandwich. Like, this is gonna be so mid. Turns out it was pretty good. And then I will tell you this, the secret that none of you guys told me about, the secret that none of y'all let me know about, they sell fudge squares, and the fudge was out of this world. And all different flavors.
I will stop everything for fudge.
Yeah, I did.
Fudge brownies, fudge anything.
I bought $24 worth of fudge, and I have not regretted it.
I don't think I would either, ever.
So
ever.
anyway, the review of Buc-ee's is, what the hell? Like,
you have no words for it, huh?
Is this? Followed by the brisket was B-, the fudge was A+. Beaver nuggets are, I'm pretty sure they like sprinkle crack on top of them.
I mean, how hard is it to get fudge wrong? I mean, fudge is fudge.
I've had some bad fudge. Buc-ee's killed it. So anyway, if you see it, but if you drive by I feel like if I see it once or twice, like, cool, I've seen a Buc-ee's now. But if you have not been to a Buc-ee's, they're ridiculous. Let's take a break, top of the hour. When we come back, we will break down the South Carolina game. They got that big one against Charlotte, covered the spread and then some. Then we'll take a look up and down our top 25 polls. Second half of the show, we switch gears, kick it around to the National Football League. We talked Carolina Panthers already, but how about the Miami Dolphins knocking off Josh Allen? All that and more coming up on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate, y'all. All right, stream. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, here we go. Hour numero dos is the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. James came in and chose violence today. He said this might be an unpopular opinion, but one thing I'm over is Whataburger. Yes, it is an unpopular opinion. Whataburger is delightful. It is delightful. I'm gonna tell you right now. Have you had Cookout, Tim? You eaten Cookout before?
Yeah, a lot actually.
I still have not had Cookout yet. And it's not because I haven't wanted to try Cookout, because everybody tells me how amazing Cookout is. I have not had Cookout, and it's not because I haven't wanted to.
All right, well, I'm probably about to upset the text line and the comment stream, but I do not like Cookout. So
Really?
you're not really missing anything.
I have not had Cookout, and it is because every time that I'm in a spot where I could go get Cookout, the line is always like a mile and a half long. There's one I live off of Wade Hampton, and there's a Cookout not too far down the road from me. I have many nights been out, and much like Whataburger, Cookout is best. Pardon me. Much like Whataburger, Cookout is best late at night after you've been out doing some secret line dancing and you're hungry and the lady friend's like, I need some food. Cookout would be the correct opportunity, the correct choice in that moment. But every time that we drive by it, I'm like, no, it's going to be Taco Bell because the Cookout long is always 10 to 14 miles long. And I don't like, is it that good?
I mean, if you like that grill taste, I'll put it that way. If you like that grill taste, then yeah, I would say you like it. I don't like that fumey grill taste that they have.
See, I'd rather have like the smoky taste of a grilled burger.
Okay,
over a traditional like fast food, processed burger all day every day. It's not to take a shot at anybody else's burger preparation.
Yeah,
in the fast food game.
If you like it, I'm wholeheartedly behind you. It's just not my thing.
Here's the thing. I have yet to meet a fast food burger that's worth waiting in a line that is upwards of 30 cars long for. That's not to say it's not good. I just, again, like...
A fast food burger?
Yeah, I haven't had a fast food burger yet that I'm like, man, I'm really glad that I waited in this line that took me this long to get through for a fast food burger. I just haven't had that burger yet. That's not to say it doesn't exist, and that's not even to say that it's not Cookout's burger. I just haven't I haven't driven by it and seen a line that's like, okay, I'm willing to wait in that line. Whataburger, like when my band plays shows, which traditionally end around 2:00 in the morning, there have been some nights where I'm like, okay, Whataburger's worth this wait, right? Like Whataburger is worth this wait. Y'all love some damn Cookout. Y'all love some Cookout, boys. Y'all love it. And again, I'm not upset about it. I'm just saying I haven't hit the spot yet where I'm like, yeah, I'll wait in this line. It just hasn't happened. So,
what's the longest you would wait in line for?
Like Whataburger, I've had some band gigs that I've waited in a Whataburger line for like 20 minutes. But that's even for a Whataburger late at night after a gig that doesn't get done till 2 or 3 in the morning. That's about the time stretch where I'm like, I'm out.
What about Steak and Shake? Steak and Shake has good burgers.
Steak and Shake has good when I was going to college, we had a Steak and Shake right down the street from my campus in Pensacola at the University of West Florida. And I hit the Steak and Shake frequently. Their steak burgers are surprisingly good. But again, like 20 minutes is about the limit for me. If I'm in line for 20 minutes, this burger is like, I'd rather just go home and if I'm in line for 20 minutes, I can fire up the propane grill and grill my own burger in 20 minutes. Like, I'll just go home and do that.
Oh, yeah, Josh, I agree. Josh says their milkshakes brings all the boys to the yard.
I have heard that. And that's the lady friend's line. Like, she'll come home every now and then with Cookout. And I'm like, did you wait in line? She's like, yeah, but the milkshakes are worth it. And I'm like,
yeah.
But a milkshake's a milkshake, though. You know what I mean? Like, a milkshake's a milk. I can make a milkshake at home in my blender that I feel would put most fast food milkshakes, would just make them look pedestrian.
Yeah, but Steak and Shake also has really good milkshakes as well.
They do.
Just saying.
But again, I don't mind waiting in the right line for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind waiting in the right line. Again, 20 minutes is about the limit for me. That's about the limit. James says, yeah, but they got like 20 different flavors of milkshake, which is, again,
who does?
Cookout.
Cookout, yeah. Cookout does, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway. Rob, what's your username on Warzone Let's Play tonight? That's from Caleb. Caleb, shoot me an email, rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. I'll get it to you. I don't my Xbox tag. If you guys want to add me, if you play Xbox, my Xbox tag is RL Brown 385. So if you want to hit me on Xbox, my Xbox tag is RL Brown 385. I will jump on and game with anybody. I'm just gonna go ahead and warn you. I suck at everything. I suck at everything, but I am funny. That's what I got, right? The guys in the group that I play Warzone with will tell you right now that I bring absolutely nothing to the table in terms of talent, but I will make your group laugh the whole time. That's pretty much what I bring to the table.
That's awesome, though.
All right, let's get some football talk in here. The Gamecocks of South Carolina get a big-time win, and boy, howdy, did they need it. They welcome the 49ers of Charlotte into the Cola this weekend. They went into that game as a 22.5 point favorite, and they covered the spread plus a little bit. 56-20 your final. At one point, Charlotte led this ball game. I was up on Saturday evening. The Madre came in. We decided, all right, the lady friend and I were like, okay, we've probably been together long enough at this point that we should have the parental units get together and meet each other. So we took the Madre. Up to Anderson County, where her parents are from, and hung out up in that direction, so she could meet the lady friend's parents. And I had the game on my cell phone. I'm like, all right, this game's big, right? This game is big. This is a must-win game for the Gamecocks. Let me at least put it on in the background, right? Like, let me at least put it on in the background and see what they end up looking like. And I tune the game in. And at the point that I tuned the game in, Charlotte was actually winning this game. And I'm like, this is not great. This is not great. But then the Gamecocks busted it open. 22 points in the third quarter. Shut out the 49ers in the third quarter. Again, I don't really know what else you could have asked for in that spot, right? Like, I guess maybe don't give up 20 to the Charlotte 49ers, who fall to 1-4 on the season. But you ran the ball well. Spencer Rattler, 17 of 23, $187, no touches, no picks. Doty came in, went 2 of 3, including a touchdown pass. QBR of 98. He threw for 63 to Rattler's 187. But the story of the game was the run game. The story of the game was that finally, the Gamecocks of South Carolina owned the line of scrimmage. The blocking was much better. Marshawn Lloyd, 15 carries, $169, and 3 touchdowns on the day. Christian Beal-Smith, 9 carries, 55 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. He popped a couple into the end zone as well. What do you want, right? Dominated the offensive line. Through the air, Jalen Brooks, 3 grabs for 67. Amarian Brown, 3 for 55. Corey Rucker, he had 1 for 52 that went for a touch as well. Rockstar Ruck broke out the air guitar celebration at the end. Wells Jr., 2 for 27. Stogner, 2 for 17. Juju, 4 for 13. Jaheim Bell, 2 for 9. Beal Smith, 1 for 6. Xavier Legette, 1 for 4. They owned the line of scrimmage. And at the end of the day, that's what we were waiting for with the South Carolina offense. Own the line of scrimmage. They did. Be consistent and creative with your play calling. They did. Create a situation where Spencer Rattler has his best case to succeed. And they did. Now, again, Rattler wasn't amazing in this game. And I absolutely think that it is fair for people to be asking, is this the best Spencer Rattler is capable of, right? But South Carolina was not forcing the pass game against Charlotte because the run game was working, especially down inside the 35, right? Jaheim had 3 touchdowns that came down inside the 35, and they all look good. One of the touchdowns, I think the first touchdown, go back and watch the offensive line on that play. One thing I loved about that, they pulled the backside guard. They pulled the right guard around the outside. But one of the problems that the Gamecocks have had so far this year in trying to run that pulling backside guard scheme, right? You pull the goal in that situation is you pull the backside guard. He runs behind the offensive line, who in order to pull this off, do have to get a push off the line. He pulls, takes a step back, pulls behind the offensive line, gets down to the other end, kicks out the defensive end. You send a fullback or a backside wingback blocker up through the hole to take out the linebacker, and then basically you create a situation, if it is run correctly, where your running back hits the second level and he's just got to beat a defensive back to pop something out. On the touchdown run, the first one that Bell scored, you saw exactly that. You saw exactly that. The backside guard pulled. The line got an explosion. They created some pushback against the 49er defensive front seven. The backside guard kicked out the defensive end. They ran the fullback up through, or the wingback up through. Jaheim followed him into the slot. They ended up 1v1 versus the cornerback, and he jumped over him, mashed the A button to get that vertical height, went up over yonder, came down the other side, and it was a foot race to the end zone that he won. Go watch that play. It was perfectly executed. Perfectly executed. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can pull it up on the stream here. If you are not watching the stream, now's your opportunity. I'm actually going to pull this video up on the stream to show you this play, because I think it was impressive. I think it was impressive, and I think it was exactly, again, kind of what we were looking for out of this play. So I've got it up on the stream now. This first play from scrimmage. This one is from the 25-yard line going in. You see the football with the center. Watch the guy right above him. That's the right guard, right? When the snap happens, boom, you got explosion from the center, the left guard, and the tackle. You'll see the tackle chips down to help out the guard. They get some explosion. The right guard pulls around. Now, he's one-on-one with number 0, playing the defensive end spot, right? They bring off the backside, watch the tailback, watch the wingback on the right-hand side. So the guard pulls, the wingback hops in the line behind him. The right guard goes one-on-one with the defensive end. He gets the kick-out block. The wingback cuts up into the hole, and he's one-on-one with the linebacker. What's he do? He throws the helmet onto him, pushes him to the left. So the defensive end off the right-hand side, that the right guard is kicking out, has been turned. The tailback, the wingback, gets over, is able to get into the hole. He blocks the linebacker, and now it's up to Bell to make something happen. He breaks through the defensive end, through the linebacker block, gets down the field. Now, 1v1 with the cornerback and right over top. Once he gets there, it's a foot race to the end zone. Everything about this play was exceptional. Explosion off the offensive line. You got the kick out from the backside pulling guard. The wingback in his back pocket blocks the linebacker. The running back, Jaheim Bell, hits the slot. He's 1v1 versus the cornerback, makes him miss in the most hilarious way possible, right over the top, and then he's gone. You got a good block from the outside wide receiver, forces his DB out to the left, then spins him around so he's got no angle. Touchdown, Gamecocks. This is the run game that we have been waiting to see. The guard with the excellent defensive end block. The wingback hits the linebacker, gets him turned to the outside. It's a great read from the running back to cut back north and south to get up inside that linebacker, misses the defensive back, wins the foot race to the end zone. That is perfect execution to that play, and that is exactly the type of play that the Gamecock fans have been waiting to see out of running the football. And it worked. I know some folks are upset. How do you get out of there with Spencer Rattler throwing for $187 and no touchdowns. I mean, he threw the ball 23 times, right? You'd expect that number if they were going to try to base the offense around Spencer Rattler. You'd expect that number to be up closer to 35, maybe 40. He threw it 23 times. Probably 60% the number that I thought he would have. Why? Because they finally got the run game going. Now, will it be the same when they get back to SEC play? I don't know. But what I do know is they've got one more game coming up at noon this Saturday at home against SC State to continue to perfect that. And I would expect that you are going to get very similar numbers. You're going to see Rattler throw the ball 23 times. You're going to see the running backs get about 40 carries. Because you got to get this run game perfected. It looked much better against Charlotte than it did against Georgia State, Arkansas, or Georgia. It looked much more fluid. The blocking schemes up front were much more well executed. You get a chance to perfect it against SC State on Saturday because on the 8th of October, you are on the road. You are at number 7 Kentucky. You are at a Kentucky Wildcat team that is thus far undefeated at 4-0. You are at a Kentucky Wildcat team that knocked off a top 12 team in Florida, but they gave up 23 to Northern Illinois. They've also got a top 10 matchup this weekend on the road at Ole Miss. They are going to be a bit worn down when South Carolina comes to call it in 2 Saturdays. Use this weekend as a final tune-up game. You should win this game by 27 going away. Should be an easy one. But get that offensive blocking scheme perspective worked out. Keep running the ball efficiently, and you'll give yourself a chance against Kentucky. The Gamecocks are exactly where I thought the Gamecocks would be. They are 2-2 through 4. They have won the 2 that they were supposed to win. They have lost the 2 that they are supposed to lose. Okay? Now, what you got to do is you got to find 4 more. SC State should be one of them. You got to find 3 more. You got Kentucky, A&M, Mizzou, Vandy, Florida, Tennessee, and Clemson. Are there 3 wins mixed in there? That's the question. Are there 3 wins? You got to beat Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt. Man, the rest I'm not so sure about. Kentucky's a tough out. A&M, even at home, A&M looked bad in their loss to Appy State, but then A&M has since turned around and looked much more impressive at 3-1. After the Appy State loss, they beat Miami and they won against a top 10 Arkansas team. One of 2 things is true about that. Either the Arkansas team that beat the Gamecocks by 2 scores is not as good as we thought they were, or the A&M team, despite the loss to Appy State, is maybe better than expected. Preseason, I told you I thought A&M was going to be pretty good this year. Not great. I wasn't one of the clowns that had them in the college football playoff picture. But A&M might be better than a lot of folks thought after the loss to Appalachian State. A&M might be a tough out. So are there 3 more wins between Kentucky, A&M, Mizzou, Vandy, Florida, Tennessee, and Clemson? I would like to think that at home against Mizzou is a win. I would like to think that on the road at Vanderbilt is a win. Florida's a beatable team. So you are basically looking for win the 2 remaining you're supposed to, or should, Mizzou and Vandy. And then you've got to give me a win between at Kentucky, at home against A&M, at Florida. Because I don't think you're ready for Tennessee, and you're not ready for Clemson. You're just not. That's where you stand. All that being said, you ran the ball well. You executed the rushing offense well. Grow on that. Grow on that. Take that win, build a little confidence, grow on that. Let's take a break. When we come back, we start looking towards the National Football League. Take a look at what a wild weekend in the NFL it was, too. I'm going to tell you right now, I got smoked by Vegas in my picks this weekend. Smoked by Vegas. Take a look back at some of the games that blew me up next on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
One, two, one, three. Let's see. All right, just in case. I gotta go to the bathroom.
For sure, brother.
I'll put an extra minute in there just in case. I know what I'm doing.
I'll run.
You're good. We're right back, stream. Hang in there for me.
out and playing some Call of Duty, I can't really do that, you know? I definitely can't do that because, yeah, I don't do that stuff anymore. Oh, but yeah, don't worry about that. Like, I play with an 8-year-old. I mean, and he's gotten pretty good, but like, I played with him for like ever. And, we just had fun, you know? Played a lot of zombies.
I used to love the zombies.
Dude, zombies is fun on Cold War. They got the Outbreak, and like you can like, I mean, it's just like it's not open world, but it feels like open world. It's like huge. It's huge maps, and you got like objectives that you have to do. You get to go in with your own loadout, which is really fun. I get a sniper rifle and work on my quick scoping with zombies.
Yeah, I don't even waste my time trying to quick scope. I'm not that good. I'm just happy if I hit the freaking zombie.
Yeah, man. I don't judge people. I'll be the one being like, "Come on, Rob, I got you. Let's go." I don't take it serious like that. I just have fun with it. I laugh at people that do like that on Call of Duty. I get on League just to troll people. Like, for real. Like, I'll intentionally, especially if I'm playing bad that night, I'll intentionally suck just to piss them off. It's so funny.
Suck naturally.
Like, if I'm not shooting as good and I'm just sucking that night, I'll intentionally just suck after that. Like, I'll just, like, run around and do nothing. I'm like, man, you didn't even get one kill. You're headshot, Tim. You got a sniper rifle. What are you sniping for? Like, all that kind of stuff. It's funny. And they don't know they're on stream.
I haven't opened up game chat in years either. Some toxic Sun Guns out there.
Do what?
Said I don't really open my game chat all that often because there's some toxic Sun Guns out there.
Oh yeah, man. I hate it too. I hate because like trash talking ain't the same as it used to be. Like before, you just get on there and be like, "Oh yeah, you suck. Well, you suck too. Oh well, like you know whatever."
People are awful.
But they didn't like take it as seriously as some people do. And then of course you got the younger people sitting there like just bitch this, bitch
Those
that,
kids.
bitch this. Yeah. Like always like, you know,
Get off my
just
lawn.
completely vulgar type of stuff, and you're just kind of like, dude, shut up. If he was in front of me, you definitely wouldn't be saying that. All right, we're coming back.
Intimidator sitting in, running the board for the great one. Lonzo out on vacation this week. My name is Rob Brown. Halftime of the show. Let me gloat for just a minute, if you don't mind. And even if you do, I'm gonna do it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, would you look down to the Sunshine State of Florida? And I still don't like them or their city. But folks, please take a look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are now 2-1. The Jags are 2-1 as it stands right now. Their only L was a mismanaged opening week loss to the Washington Commanders. Bum, 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 bum. Since then, they have shut out the Indianapolis Colts and handed Matt Ryan his worst performance as an NFL quarterback so far. And then yesterday, a 38-10 blowout of the Los Angeles Chargers. TL16, 28 of 39, 262, 3 touchdowns. Justin Herbert in that game, the future. It's not a dog on him. My guy came out playing hurt because he wanted to be out there with his boys. How about 25 of 45, 297, 1 touch, 1 pick, and a 74 QBR? 74 QBR. What was TL16's? 115.5. That, and again, I'm bad at numbers, is better. That's the bigger number. 151 on the ground for Jacksonville, and maybe more importantly, held the Chargers to 26 rushing yards. The entire team to 26 rushing yards. In the National Football League, 26 rushing yards. That is not very many rushing yards in the grand scheme of things. Somewhere, I am sure, Urban Meyer was watching his TV like, oh, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. I thought I knew how to do this. And Doug Peterson was like, yo, hold my Duval, would you? Hold my Duval. What a joke. I am so glad. I do my best not to take pleasure in other people's failures. But if you don't think that I have just a little enjoyed watching the Jacksonville Jaguars make Herb look more like a chump than he made himself look like a chump, you don't know me at all. You don't know me at all. Man, was that entertaining as hell. Remains entertaining as hell. I said last year, the Jags have a roster that should be better than it's showing. Urban Meyer is the reason why they failed. And there have been a number of people, Lonzo included, who were like, no, Rob, you just hate Urban Meyer. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I'm not a fan of the Urbanator. But I could also look at that team and tell you that Herb was a bad football coach as well as being a bad dude. Herb did not understand how to run his football organization, and it showed. And now look at the Jags. Now look at Jacksonville. 2-1. Took out one of the AFC favorites in terms of being a Super Bowl contender. The Jags look good. The Jags look real good. How about that score? That worked out great for them. Other scores around the league, because there were a few that shocked me. The Browns smoked the Steelers. They are now 2-1. And perhaps, just perhaps, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps there's going to be a QB controversy in Cleveland because Deshaun Watson is eligible to play in Week 11. But the Browns are 2-1. Jacoby Brissett threw for 220 and a pair of touchdowns yesterday en route to a 109 rating. Nick Chubb had another day. 23 carries, 113 and a touch. 171 on the ground for the Browns. They might be okay, folks. They might be okay. The Texans lost to the Bears 23-20. The Titans get one over on the Raiders. And how about the 0-3 Las Vegas Raiders? A lot of people thought that this football team was turning a quarter this year, but they have fallen to the Chargers, the Cardinals, and the now 1-2 Tennessee Titans. Derek Carr, 303, two touches and a pick. Ryan Tannehill, 264, 1 and a pick. Derrick Henry, 85 on the ground on 20 carries, averaged 4.3. He scored once as well. Chiefs fall to the Colts. Yes, those same Colts we talked about. The now 1-1 Colts. Patrick Mahomes, 20 of 35, 262, a touch and a pick. Matt Ryan, 2 touchdowns, 222 through the air on 27 of 37. Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries, 71 yards, no touchdowns, and the Colts still got it done. The story of that game, obviously, was the fact that Patrick Mahomes got into it with Eric Bieniemy, his offensive coordinator. Got to be around halftime. Patrick wanted to go find himself a touchdown. So he got up into the grill of Eric Bieniemy, who did not do that. And looked like there might be a little trouble in paradise there for the chefs. Because Andy Reid had to come over and separate the boys just a little bit, which was not a great look at all. Not a great look at all for them. Listen, the Chiefs are not done, all right? The Chiefs are not done. The Chiefs are not going anywhere. They are still going to be one of the better teams in the National Football League this year. But it's not a fantastic look when your starting quarterback, your Pro Bowl quarterback, is getting into it with your OC on the sideline. That's not an outstanding look for the Chiefs. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of that. But that was a big-time surprising L in the league yesterday, and I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. Not the way we thought that game was going to play out. Chiefs fall to the Colts 20-17. Other scores going around the league. How about Josh Allen throwing for 400 yards and a pair of touchdowns and losing to the Miami Dolphins 21-19. Tua threw the ball 18 times, 186 yards, 1 touchdown. Teddy Bridgewater had to come in, went 0 for 2 when Tua had to go to the sideline. Why did Tua have to go to the sideline? Tua had to go to the sideline because he got popped in the noggin and his body went loose on him. Whoops. Can't have that. Can't have that. So that was a bad look, and the NFLPA is getting in and asking for an investigation into that because they think he should not have come back. And I get it. Tua got hit. He got up, started making his way back to the huddle. The body went limp, and he just went down again. Just went down again. Man, I don't know. I really don't know what to make of that. I don't know what to make of that. It's very much not a good look, right? He absolutely looked like he was loopy, like he was concussed, and you can't have that. Either way, the Dolphins fans at 3-0 and knocking off Josh Allen is a big moment for them. Is a real big moment for them. Vikings 28-24 winners over the Lions because Dan Campbell absolutely screwed the pooch with time management down the stretch. The Detroit Lions had about 7 opportunities to ice the Minnesota Vikings, and they just failed to do so. The Ravens, 37 winners over the Patriots. Mac Jones had to leave the game. He's got a rolled up on ankle. He will be evaluated. Bengals over the Jets, 27-12. Glad to see the Bengals back in it. They're now 1-2 after Joey B, 23 of 36, 275, and 3 touchdowns to show. Joe Flacco was not elite, 28 of 52, 285, no touches, and 2 picks in that one. The Eagles, 24-8 winners over the Commanders, and as Keegan repeatedly yelled at the scoreboard yesterday, Jalen Hurts is that dude. 22 of 35, 340, and 3 touchdowns. He also ran 9 times for 20. And the Eagles look for real at 3-0. Carson Wentz, 25 of 43, 211, no touches, no picks. The Commanders ran for 87 yards. How about the Eagles? Saints fall to the Panthers. We broke that one down. We'll get more in depth with that later on. Make sure You are liked and subscribed to the Views from Mid Street podcast, hosted by me and the great one, Lonzo Reitzel. We're going to be dropping another episode on you. We'll record it after the show today. It will be dropped sometime later this afternoon, early evening, in which we will go in depth into this 2014 victory. Jags 38-10 winners over the Chargers. We talked about that. The Rams polish off Kyler Murray and the Cardinals 20-12 in that one. It was nice to see Cam Akers back, 12 carries for 249 on the ground. 12 carries for 61 and a touch on the ground. Coop had 1 for a 20-yard touchdown. Matt Stafford, 18 of 25, 249, no touches, no picks. Kyler went 37 of 58 for 314, no touches, no picks. The Rams are back in winning ways. The Falcons get one over the Seahawks, 27-23. And I want to talk about this Packers-Tampa game. Packers knock off Tom Brady and his Bucks 14-12. And neither one of these teams looks like the NFC favorites that we were promised that they would be. Plenty more NFL talk coming down the pipe. Stick around. Stay tuned. We got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 2. Hour number 3, going to get into all the weird stuff we haven't touched yet. The Americans win the President's Cup again. All we do is win, no matter what. Talk about that and what it felt like to not have the Live Tour guys out there. Whole lot more coming your way. Timinator in the producer's chair. Lonzo out on vacation. I'm Rob Brown. It is the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Stream hitting the restroom. Be right back. Don't go anywhere, y'all. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the fan upstate Rob. T2, the Timinator, filling in for Lonzo. He's out on vacation this week. He'll rejoin us triumphantly next week. And to spoiler alert it, ladies and gentlemen, no punishment in the Boo Box bets this week. No loser this week. Lonzo and I have both tied. The only question mark is going to be what our final record is. I had Wake Forest inside the 7.5 against Clemson. That one went to double OT, 51-45. So I did get the dub there. Lonzo had the Tigers. He was a couple of points off from taking that one from me. We both had Carolina to be up by 2 or better against Notre Dame. 45-32, the Irish win. That's an L for both of us. We both had Tennessee minus 10.5 against the Gators of Florida. It should have been. That should have been a win. Late in the game, the Gators score a touchdown, but instead of kicking the XP to get within 8, they decided to go for 2, and that game was sitting at 11 points, but the Gators would put one more up on the board. 38-33 your final. That's another L. Arkansas A&M. We both had Arky minus just 2. I just needed him to win by a field goal. Instead, A&M wins outright 23-21, so we both lost that one. And then Charlotte at South Carolina. I picked the Gamecocks to cover up the 22.5-point spread. 56-20 your final, so they do that. Lonzo had the 49ers inside of 22.5. So Rob Brown in college ball goes 2-3 on the weekend. Lonzo went 0-5 in college ball. It was a bad day. In the National Football League, we flipped those records. Rob and Lonzo, both with Cincinnati, they covered the -6. That's a win. I had the Saints at minus 2.5, but they fell to Carolina 22-14. Lonzo, the eternally optimistic one, picked the Panthers. He gets a dub there. Buffalo -5 at Miami, but the Dolphins went outright 21-19. We both had Josh Allen, and the Bills. We both took an L there. And finally, Tampa Bay, -1.5 point favorites at home, and they fall to Green Bay 14-12. That is an L for Rob Brown, who picked Brady. Lonzo picked the Pack. So in the National Football League, Rob Brown has gone 1-3 so far. Lonzo went 2-2. The last game remaining, Dallas at New York this evening, but we both have the Giants. So in a day where I have gone 3-6 so far, Lonzo is also sitting at 3-6, and we have the same team picked for this evening. So we will either go 4-6 or we will go 3-7 collectively, but no Boo Box punishment to be handed out this week, fortunately for the great one, who is 0-3 so far. Had to wear a Clemson jersey.
Did you just say Boo Box?
Yeah, the Boo Box.
Like from Hook?
From Hook, that's correct.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Bangarang.
The Boo Box. Lonzo and I pick 10 games against the spread every week. 5 from college, 5 from the NFL. They are against the spread, and whoever picks fewer games correctly has to reach into the Boo Box, which is a cereal box filled with a variety of punishments.
No scorpions?
No scorpions in the Boo Box.
Oh, come on. That's not a real Boo Box,
no
man.
Scorpions in the Boo Box. However, you know Lonzo's hatred for all things orange with the Clemson Tigers. Week 1, had to wear a Clemson jersey all day at work. You know Lonzo's...
He doesn't like birds either.
He doesn't like... And I'm trying to work on a bird-related punishment in his Boo Box. I haven't come up with one yet.
Let's buy him a parakeet.
Yeah, I'm trying to find somebody with a parrot to make a parrot sit on Lonzo's shoulder for a whole show. Lonzo also hates man buns. In week 2, Lonzo lost and had to wear a man bun for the entire show.
Yeah, I remember that.
He looked real good, by the way.
He did.
He looked
nice.
Good. Then, week 3, Lonzo took the 3rd consecutive loss, and his punishment was last Friday. Lonzo had to perform for us a cover of Take It on the Run by his least favorite band of all time, REO Speedwagon.
He doesn't like REO?
No, he hates REO Speedwagon. Hates REO
Now that's
Speedwagon.
something I didn't know. So you learn something new every day.
hates REO Speedwagon, and gave us, by the way, a fantastic rendition of Take It on the Run by REO Speedwagon. He just hates the song and everything by that band. So he had to perform REO Speedwagon's Take It on the Run. Fortunately for the great one, there will be no Boo Box Bets punishment doled out this week, as there was no loser this week. So our first push comes in week 4, and that's where we leave it off at. So for those of you that have been hitting me up with what's the Boo Box Bet punishment this week, fortunately for both Lonzo and I, there isn't one. In the Boo Box on my punishment list would be I hate T2. I hate jump scares. I hate when people scare me. And the full VIP experience at Mad World is in my Boo Box.
I haven't been there yet.
Eat an entire jar of Duke's Mayo is in my Boo Box. I do not perform music live, but I would have to sing a song. That's in the Boo Box.
Duke's Mayo, for real?
Yeah, eat it, but you got to eat a whole jar of it during the show. You got 3 hours to polish the whole jar.
Oh, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah. And by the way, you cannot put it on other foods.
You can't?
No, spoon and mayo.
What
That's
about
what you get.
no French fries or
Nope.
anything?
Nope.
Oh,
You just got to
man.
eat the jar of mayo. No, Lonzo has that one in his box, as well as polish off an entire bottle of maple syrup over the course of a show. Like the whole Aunt Jemima, you got to polish the whole bottle by the end of the show. Yeah,
Oh,
these
no.
suck. We hate them.
Yeah,
hate them.
dude.
hate them.
I just want to be involved in that show one day. I might come in just to hang out.
I had, for the record, I had planned on, if Lonzo had taken an L this week, administering his punishment onto you. So you can thank Lonzo for not losing this week.
Hey, I'm a team player. I got this.
I like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that puts hour number 2 in the books. When we come back in hour number 3, all the stuff we have not gotten through so far this week. Texter said, you said no loser this week, so the 5-week losing streak is reset. I don't know yet. The other thing was if somebody ate 5 straight losses, we were going to end the bit, because it's not fun. It's not fun to see one guy get punished, but I'm not going to get punished for fun.
Except for the one guy who's faced the Nerf wall,
Yeah.
several times.
So with that being said, do you guys think that we should reset the 5-week calendar here? Should we reset the 5-week calendar, or if Lonzo comes back, is the 5-week losing streak still intact? So if Lonzo loses 2 more weeks after the push this week, should we end the game at that point? I know what you guys are going to say. I don't know why I'm going to ask the question. You're going to be like, Rob and Lonzo get tortured on air? Hilarious. Keep it going. 1 hour left. That's next on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna stop this. Why does it look like there's 4 segments? I don't think there is. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good. I think. Save. I need a title for that last one. The Boo Box.
Yeah. Boo Box results.
No. I love that movie. I watched that movie religiously.
If you
when
get
I
a
was
second,
kid.
you want to put that computer in queue, you can play Lonzo's Boo Box Punishment opening bite. It's really good. It's really good.
Boo Box
Results.
yeah. Save, cancel. All right. The Boo Box.
The Boo Box. No, not the Boo Box.
Hook. Where's the hook? Do you know what the card is? Is it? He
I
probably
don't.
got it.
It should be
in
on the. It should be on our list.
Faces and heels, fanboy, offsides, game intros. Oh, there it is. Does it matter if the stream hears it?
No, you can put it in queue.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of the John Deere 25R compact tractor. And he can do just about anything.
Oh, where is it? I just had it.
But the Hubbards use their 1025R.
Bangarang. I love Hook.
I love that movie.
Steven, I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much, man. We do too. My mom's flying back to Pensacola right now. Hopefully it's, again, you never hope that, you don't want the hurricane to hit anywhere. Like, I hope it just 180s and goes back into the Gulf and dies. But, I just hope it really weakens out. But we'll find out, man. We'll find out. That's all you can do. I've been around hurricanes my whole life. At the end of the day, all you can do is, for low level ones, just kind of prep the best you can. For high levels, prep and run and see what happens. So we'll see. But I appreciate the well wishes, Steven. Thank you very much, brother.
Death to all hurricanes.
Death to all hurricanes.
Yeah, man. All right, here we go. I got that in my head. Dun, 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 dun.
Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey is the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. If you did not see what happened at the end of that Bills-Miami game, it was not great. The Bills had the ball. They're driving. All they need is a field goal to win this thing, right? So Josh Allen, who had otherwise had a really good game, late in that game, they call a play. They get a wide receiver down the sideline, but Josh Allen hits the wide receiver running across the middle. And instead of sprinting to the sideline and getting out of bounds, as the Bills had no timeouts remaining, which would have obviously stopped the clock and given them the opportunity to either try a very long field goal or the opportunity to take one more deep shot at the end zone, instead gets tackled inbounds. The clock continues to spin, and the Bills run out of time. They cannot get the ball clocked before the Gamecock hits zeros. Well, the video's been going around now of Ken Dorsey, the OC for Buffalo, up in his box. And he's got his tablet in front of him, and he's got the headset on, and he's got his play sheet spread out in front of him with his highlighters and his pens, and he's got his notebook with all his plays pushed up against the window, and he's looking down. And when the wide receiver gets tackled inbounds, Ken Dorsey has an absolute conniption fit, right? Takes his headset, slams it down into the desk, grabs the tablet, slams it down in the desk. He's grabbing all the paper and pens in front of him, throws his hat down like a knockoff version of Steve Spurrier. It's just having a conniption. By the way, I'm playing the video on the stream right now. So if you're not on the stream, you're missing out. Go to facebook.com/thefanupstate, Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate, Twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show, Twitter.com/TheFanUpstate. On Twitch, search and subscribe to The Rob Brown Show. On YouTube, search and subscribe to The Rob Brown Show. And you can watch the stream and go behind the scenes with me and T2 every segment all week long, and with me and Lonzo every segment all year long. But I'm showing the video right now of Ken Dorsey's absolute freak out, like not having it. And the best part about this is, for the duration of his career, Tom Brady has been throwing tablets at benches and getting away with it. Well, last week, after Tom Brady and the Bucs against New Orleans had a baby meltdown within the game, Brady hit the sideline. Brady picked up one of his Microsoft, what do they call them, Surfaces, one of his tablets, and he spiked it into the bench again. Well, this time, because Tom Brady's not out there decimating the league like he was expected to, the NFL was like, no, we can't have that. Too much of that. We can't have that. So the league sent out a league-wide memo that said coaches and players who damage team equipment moving forward are going to eat a hefty fine from the league. And within minutes, Ken Dorsey spikes his tablet and his notebook into the desk like, I don't know. I've never seen anything like it before.
It looks like he lost the round of Warzone.
It does. This was what we in the gaming community would refer to as a rage quit.
Yeah, this is a rage quit.
This is the definition of a rage quit. An absolute rage quit. And my favorite part about the whole video, if you haven't seen it, and again, it's playing on the stream right now. Here's my favorite part of the video, is right at the end, right? So the headset gets spiked, the hat gets spiked, the tablet gets spiked, the notebook gets ripped apart. Look over on the right-hand side of the screen, Timmy. Do you recognize what that is? That is a hand. Somebody else on the Bills coaching staff was like, this is not a good look.
Yeah, dude, you can't be acting like that. I'll just cover this up real quick.
Yeah, not a good look. Just reaches over. This is the version, T2, of if you were streaming a game and one of your buddies started dropping bad words that you didn't want on the stream, just being like, and end stream.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yep, we're done.
We're done here. That's what this was. Absolutely.
Well, actually, I
spectacular.
wouldn't do that. Actually, I would totally clip that out and make something else out of it.
Man, the ultimate rage quit. Like, I am going to clip this video, turn it into a GIF.
Can we
and
do
it's
that?
just going to be constant. Every time anything goes wrong, I'm just hitting the world with this GIF.
Oh, come on. Let me make a meme out of it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, dude,
It's
you
amazing.
gotta send that to me.
Ken Dorsey is getting ripped apart. And you know he's going to come out today in their presser and be like, hey, listen, it was an emotional game. It was an important divisional game. It is a game against a team that is going to threaten us in the playoffs. We wanted that win, and we blew it. Stupid mental mistake. And because we blew it on the field, I blew it in the press box. There's so much going on in this video clip, right? So you got Dorsey himself. But then if you look up at the top right-hand corner, in fact, I'll even go full screen for you guys on this. If you look up in the top right-hand corner, let me kill off my face so you can see it. There's a guy up in the top right-hand corner wearing a headset as well.
Kind of looks like me.
A little bit. Watch the frustration on this guy. Just takes the headset off and dumps it, right? Like, there's three. Listen, every different variation of angry quit is happening here.
But there's one guy that's just acting like nothing's going on. Like it's the third guy in the on that row. He's just kind of like, I don't see nothing. I don't see it. I don't see what's going on here.
There are four variations of quitting happening here, right? You got Dorsey with the rage quit, right? I'll go through them one at a time because it kills me. You got Dorsey right in the front with the rage quit. The headphones get spiked. The helmet gets spiked. The tablet gets spiked. The papers get crumpled and thrown and folded. Like, that's the rage quit, right? But then look at the guy right on the other side of him, right? That is, I believe, the Bills' O-line coach, the guy with the beard in the center of the screen. He's got a far more casual, like the very disappointed quit. And he's hard to see behind the rage quit. But watch what he does. He just kind of like spikes the pen, rolls the chair back like, oh, God, right? It happens. You lose that 1v1 at the end of the round, and you're just like, oh, man. Like, it hurts, right? Then look at the guy behind him, the guy that's leaning forward on the desk, right? He doesn't quit. He just keeps the headset doesn't come off. It's just that moment of.
He's got a Eeyore moment. Just,
Yeah.
oh, man.
Like, of course. Of course that's what happened, right? Then you get the guy on the other side of him in the blue shirt. That dude's quit is just like, I can't get out of here fast enough. It's not angry. It's not rage. But the headset comes off, pushes the chair back, and he's just like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done with this. And then up in the top right-hand corner, the guy who just, he doesn't even take the headset off, Tim. He just like pushes it off his head.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done. I'm over this. Pushes the headset off his head and just disappears from the camera.
That's a great way to break your nice headphones,
Yep.
too.
Yep. And let's be real. We've all done it.
Oh, yeah, I've done
I
it.
have done every one of these quits.
I've done. Oh, yeah, me too.
I've done every one of these quits. I've done it in video games. I've done it in life. I have finished shows before, right? I've been doing this 15 years. I've done a lot of radio broadcasts. I have finished shows before and that have ended with every one of these types of quits. I have done the Ken Dorsey rage quit. I have done the O-line coach like, goodbye. Just a goodbye. I have done the guy up in the top who just like knocks his headphones off.
Yeah.
It's not like rage, but it's definite angry, right? I have done the quit. And you guys that watch the stream, you've seen me when I end a show that I hate, that I'm like, I did not do a good enough show today. The guy who just like stays leaning forward. You guys have seen me, if you watch the stream, finish the show and then just like sit at the desk. The headphones don't come off. I just get into my angry zone. I've done every one of these quits, and they're spectacular, man.
Yeah, I've done
I
that.
love that video.
I've done quits like that, even mobile DJing. Like, you know, just kind of like
finish a set you don't like, and you're like, dumb.
well, that hardly ever happened because I'm pretty good, but I'm just kidding.
I like it. I like it.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, just like throwing your head. I had a little hook for my headphones, and depending on how I hung my headphones on the side of that hook was what my mood was. And then, of course, I had a little space on my table, and then if I slammed them down on that table, then I was really mad.
Yep.
So yeah, I feel your pain, man.
Again, you'll see me. You'll see me. There's the quit where I take the headphones off and I throw them at the desk. And you're like, I'm about to have to replace $70 headphones and I don't care.
I have not seen that one.
It's rare. It's the most rare of the quits. Of the quits that we looked at in this video, it's the most rare of the quits. I very rarely throw. Now, I've done that at the house where I've got to cut every week. I've got to cut multiple promos, right? Like when I get out of here today, I've got to cut our promos for the Burns games coming up this week. Then I got to cut our daily commercial promo. Then I've got to cut promos for any other activities we got going.
Right.
Then the sales staff downstairs on Mondays will send me the list of spots they need recorded. And if I get in there and every now and then I just cannot get a promo cut, right? Like I just cannot get over words. It'll be like slap the mic, throw the headsets down. Lonzo has heard me screaming obscenities through 3 soundproof walls because I get so mad. It's very rare. And I tend not to rage quit publicly.
I could see you screaming through a soundproof wall.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, dude.
100%. It happens. It's rare. But it happens. That being said, the show rage quit is usually, Tim, the headset comes off, it just gets hung on the microphone, and then I just disappear.
Yeah.
Slide out, sneak out of the room. I will leave the headset and the mic on. I'm just like, turn it off. I don't care. I don't even want to push the off button.
Mine is usually I'll take the headphones off and I'll just kind of just set them on the table and I kind of.
Yep. The quit. It happens to all of us. It absolutely happens to all
Or
of
the
us.
stand and pace where you just kind of like this.
Yep. The rage quit. All I'm saying is, Ken Dorsey, I get it. I understand. Texas said, did you rage quit after the moral victory show? No, again, like, there are segments that frustrate me. And if a segment frustrates, like if I do a bad segment, which happens once a month, I finish a bad segment, you'll know on the stream because I put up the we'll be right back screen like before anything else. Like I'm like, all right, and we're back after this on the fan upstate, and the away screen is up, right? The mic's cut, that's how you know I'm not happy with the segment. It is very rare that I finish a show and I'm like, bleep all of this, I'm out. But it happens, and I'm just saying, maybe cut Ken Dorsey some slack, all right? Maybe cut him some slack because we've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there. We've all done it. It happens to the best of us.
It really does.
Leave Ken Dorsey alone. Leave Brittany alone.
You never know what's going on in his personal life either. I mean, it could be something else that's causing
No,
it.
it's not. He was just pissed about the game.
Well, it could be something
and
that,
understandably and reasonably so, for the record. I get
from
it.
an outsider's point of view, like that doesn't watch football or anything. I mean, that could be a possibility as well.
Yeah, it wasn't. Ken Dorsey was just mad about the football game. And again, completely reasonably and understandably so.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, coming up in the rest of this hour of the show, when we come back, our new top 25 poll is out in college football. We'll take a run up and down that thing. Ohio State has gained a couple of first place votes. Where does that put them in relation to Alabama at number 2? I'll tell you that. Plus, Clemson. Did they bump their way with a road victory over a top 25 team back into an AP playoff spot? I'll tell you that. And where does everybody else stack up, including a few 4-0 teams towards the bottom of the poll? All that more, that's coming up next. I'm Rob. Tim 2, the Timinator, filling in for the great one, Lonzo. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
Dude, that bed was going hard, though, for real. Had a little bit of a Slipknot feel to it.
Down.
All right, I got to figure out where the CBS Sports is. GXP5?
Not sure.
Oh, no, I got it right here. Wait, is that like the new one? Today, the 26th, it is. That is the new one.
the game is out of hand. You feel like you've outgrown your current position. Yeah, he does. I mean, definitely. What are you talking about? It's the greatest moment ever. I got it. No, I understand. I also think there's a conversation to be had about Eric Bieniemy. I know you did.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to
I
hear
found it.
hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let's cut that.
Are you tired of being tracked online? There's a simple solution.
And the update is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for career love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join
It goes in the last segment, right?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Almost inexplicably 2-1 this morning. 11-10 winners over the Niners on Sunday Night Football. As you can guess from that final score, Nathaniel Hackett thankful for his defense.
Defense did great getting them into some passing situations, and that's when they came to life. And I thought it was, just a great performance. Our coaching staff did such a great job, along with those guys buying into everything that we want to do.
Takeaways on the Niners' last 2 possessions to secure the win. It was just the second 11-10 final score in NFL history. Monday Night Football has the Giants hosting the
Hey, can you
and the NFL is finally
hit the be right back real quick?
Vegas.
Hang out, stream.
Skills competitions and a
All right, let me ask you guys, especially college football fans, ask you guys how you feel about this. During the Clemson-Wake Forest game, Aaron Judge came up to the dish multiple times. 4 times, to be specific. And in doing so, Aaron Judge was looking for career home run number 61, which, of course, would be a tie with Roger Maris for the all-time American League home run single-season record. And on top of that, would also be the, if you care about this, the all-time non-steroid home run single-season record, right? The only guys who have more than 61 are all guys who have either been proven to have roided or are guys that are thought to have roided during their time in the league. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds. So A. Judge comes to the dish 4 times in the Yankees game during the Clemson-Wake Forest game. And all 4 times that A. Judge was at the dish, ESPN cut out, or I should say cut into the Clemson-Wake Forest game, a fantastic college football game, by the way, cut into the Clemson-Wake Forest game in order to allow us to watch Aaron Judge try to go yad and get the single season record. Of course, in doing so, they had to actively cut away from what was a very, very good Clemson-Wake Forest game, yeah? You good with that? Are you cool with that? And the reason I asked the question is social media was a buzz about that decision. They were like shocked by that decision. Social media just didn't get it. And considering that, by the way, that Yankees game was not available on regular TV, right? It was only available via, what was it? It wasn't even MLB Net. I didn't think MLB Net had it. I think you could only get it on the radio. So ESPN decided to go ahead and cut into that broadcast because it is one of the milestones in all-time Major League Baseball history. Like, right, one of the milestones of all time in Major League Baseball history. They decided to cut away from a great college football game in order to give us that moment. And my question is, are you good with that? Are you okay with that? Or did that look like a bad move to you? It did not bother me, right? It did not bother me. It did not bother me that they cut into the Yankees game for a bunch of reasons. Number one, while I think that the overwhelming majority of people in the Southeast are college football fans primarily, right? You might have some that are like, oh, I'm also a Braves fan. But like the majority of you would elect to watch college football over baseball. But the majority of you are not the majority of America. And especially up in the Northeast, where the Yankees play. Out on the West Coast, where baseball is still a big deal. In the heartland, where baseball and college football, I'd argue, are closer to being on level footing, right? I suspect that the majority of the nation is interested. Maybe not invested, right? I don't know how many of you guys are going out of your way to watch the Yankees game to see if Aaron Judge gets it done. I'm going to tell you right now. Yankees Blue Jays today at 7 p.m., 7:07. I'm tuning into that game, right? I'll be playing some Call of Duty tonight, but that's why I got 5 screens in the bro cave, right? That game will be on, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, and I'll tell T2 now so that I can frustrate him when I jump on his stream later. When Aaron Judge comes to the dish, Rob Brown's going to park his character in the corner and just camp a room until he goes yard or gets out, one or the other. And I will do it all 3 or 4 or 5 at-bats, depending on how many gets. I care. I'm intrigued. I'm interested in this, and I am invested in this campaign by Aaron Judge, who now has, what? I think, let's see, how many games has he got left to get it done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's got 11 games left. Now, he's got to do it. There's a 0% chance that Aaron Judge goes 11 games and doesn't go yard once, right? It's not 0, but it's very low. But I wondered, did social media go bananas? Like, was it an overreaction? Texter on the Preferred Home Services text line says, what part of Clemson game I saw, they broke in with a split screen, and I got to watch both. Yeah, and I thought that it would be a different matter if they broke into that game and they went full screen, right? Like, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take the Clemson-Wake Forest game off the air for a moment for you to watch Aaron Judge's next at-bat in a game where he's going 0 for 3 with a walk, right? Like, that would be one thing. But they split screened it. And I had no problem with the split screen. That was sports history. I remember during the year that Sosa and McGuire were both collectively chasing 61, I remember in that game, or in that period, a point in time where they cut into everything every time that Big Mac or Slammin' Sammy was at the dish. I mean, straight cut into it. We go now to St. Louis Busch Field, where Mark McGuire's at the dish again. He's sitting on 59 right now, looking for 61. Like, I remember that. And by the way, that summer did more for baseball than anything else. Steroids be damned. We were all invested. Everybody was in. But people were like, taking runs at ESPN personalities like it was their decision, right? I saw people that were tweeting to like Herb Street. They're like, Kirk, how you need to talk to your people, right? Why are you sending us to a baseball game when 2 top 25 teams are getting after each other? Why are you taking us to a split screen baseball game when Clemson and Wake Forest are both battling to maintain their spot inside the top football teams in America rankings? Why are we doing this, Kirk? I'm like, do you guys think that Kirk Cousins called or that Kirk Herbstreit, pardon me, called? You know why Kirk Cousins couldn't have done it? Because you had to make a phone call, and Kirk Cousins can't complete anything. No rim shot on that one? No, nothing? Okay, cool. I thought it was a good joke. Anyway, the point is, I did not understand why it was that people were so damn angry about that. Like, do we literally just not care? Like, has baseball lost its position as America's pastime? Has baseball lost its position as America's halftime so much at this point that that a guy going for an all-time baseball record, like one of the records that we do care about, have we hit a point where baseball is so frowned upon by American sports fans now that cutting into a college not even cutting into, going splitsies on screen with a college football game is like a cardinal sin now? Has baseball, I didn't think baseball had fallen that far. I really didn't. Like, I knew that baseball has fallen off a bit, but I did not think that baseball had fallen that far. I did not think that baseball had fallen to the point that cutting in for an all-time home run record would be considered the blasphemy that I was told that it was on Saturday. I don't know, and maybe I'm bummed out because I am still a baseball fan. Maybe I'm bummed out because I want baseball to be great again. Maybe I'm bummed out because I hate to see a sport that I love. And I would go so far as to say, we're talking about being America's pastime, a sport that I would say, and I think reasonably, more of us have played and participated in than any other sport, right? Like, I would say the overwhelming majority of us that are sports fans, I would say the overwhelming majority of us love baseball because it was the first sport we played, right? And I acknowledge that I very much could be wrong here. Perhaps it was not. Perhaps it is not. But I assumed that baseball was the sport that the overwhelming majority of us got our love of sports from, right? The overwhelming majority of us played baseball before we played anything else, and that is why baseball would always have a spot at the top of the food chain. But based on what I saw out of the bleep show that is social media in the year 2022, maybe not. Maybe I have been too optimistic about baseball. Maybe I have been too optimistic about baseball. Maybe I have just thought that baseball was going to be fine because I love baseball. Maybe I just thought baseball was going to be fine because I'm such a baseball fan, and I thought, I can't be alone in this, right? Like, I can't be alone in this. Baseball's going to be okay. I still love baseball. I still watch baseball all the damn time. Baseball's going to be fine. And then when baseball has one moment in the sun on a Saturday, you guys across social media are like, what the HE double hockey sticks is this? What in the hell is this? Why are we going to baseball when football's on? And my thought was, I mean, they're both great, right? Like, they're both great sports. They're both sports that America loves, or at least I thought that America still loved baseball as a whole, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm just being selfish. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just being too optimistic that because I love baseball, maybe I'm just being too optimistic that because I thought baseball's fine, baseball's not going anywhere, when baseball had a single moment in the sun on Saturday, because I was so optimistic of it, I just thought, hey, everything's going to be hunky-dory. And the reality is that baseball really has fallen that far. I don't know. All I know is I hate it. All I know is I hate it. All I know is that a sport that has meant so much to me, that has meant so much to so freaking many of us, right? So many of us, all of a sudden, to see this sport get crapped on the way that it got crapped on by college football fans on Saturday, it kind of broke my heart a little bit, to be honest with you. It kind of hurt my heart a little bit. This guy's going for a record that all of us talk about. All of us have talked about. All of us will continue to talk about. I thought this record is going to be like people care. I really thought people care about this. People are going to be all about this. And here is, I don't know, a grand total of 6 minutes that baseball got its time in the sun on Saturday, and you guys were having none of it. None of it. I don't get it. I really don't. Texas says, Rob, baseball is a 1%er sport. You can have a sliver of yard or road and play basketball, football, or soccer. In baseball, you have to have a large team, field, etc. Like, maybe. I get that. In fact, I was having a conversation on Sunday with a couple of the guys that are in the Reedy River Riot, the supporters club of the Greenville Triumph. We were having a conversation similar to this based on the really bad L that the Americans took to the Japanese in the World Cup tune-up friendly that got played last week. We were having a conversation about, like, okay, why aren't we better, right? Like, why aren't we better when we have the population size that we have, when we have the athletes that we have in every sport, to where effectively, with the exception of soccer, like, America is the base of sports worldwide, right? Like, America is the base of sports worldwide. If you talk about basketball, the best international players want to be in the National Basketball Association. When you talk about football, there are plenty of other countries that have attempted to get American Football League started. Failed. All of them. When you talk about baseball, Major League Baseball is the league that every international baseball player strives to be in. Right? It just is. It just is. Yet with soccer, we just can't get there. And my answer was, because to get to the elite levels of soccer, you have to have elite training. Leagues, little leagues, youth leagues that you play in have got to be funded. They've got to be driven. You've got to have volunteers. You've got to have all of that. And with soccer, we don't really have that right now, right? Like, we just don't. It is an expensive sport to play. But here's the thing. There are Little League baseball fields that litter the United States of America. Drive through any small town in any city, in any county, in any state, and you are going to find a Little League baseball field, a Little League baseball program. You just are. That is not a theory. That's a fact, yeah? That's an absolute fact. So my question then becomes, like, what are we doing wrong? Why is this not working out the way that it should? Baseball has all of those things. They have volunteers, they have money, they have fields, they have leagues that are dedicated to making young players better. We have all of those things. Why are we not turning the corner? And why is baseball falling off so far? Right? Why is baseball falling off so far that when baseball has its biggest name right now, like it or not, Aaron Judge is. They have its bigger name. They have a monumental player. Aaron Judge is a 6'7", 235-pound machine, right? He's a prototype. If Aaron Judge played football, he would be a stud. If he played basketball, he could have made the association. He's that good. And he's that big. He's a freak. And I mean that as a compliment. He's a freak. Yet when they checked in to watch Aaron Judge try to set a record that all of us will be talking about for years, sports fans around the United States were like, screw this. This is bad. This is dumb. I don't want it. I don't want to watch this anymore. Can anybody tell me why? Can anybody explain to me why that is? I don't get it. Like I said, it's one of those situations. I am aware. It's one of those situations that baseball means something to me. Baseball got me started, right? Baseball got me started. Baseball was where my love of sports came from. Baseball is where my love of sports as a whole came from. So my question is, why is it that this sport that has meant so much to so many people, when it finally got a chance to shine this weekend, where so many people like, believe this, I'm out. I don't want it. Like, I don't get it. And it kind of hurt my heart a little bit. It really did. Because the sport deserves better. Is it Major League Baseball's fault? Is it the baseball players' fault? Is it the MLBPA's fault? Right? What is it? What is the reason? Texter just said, fan, what you just mentioned is, again, the reason. You have to get everyone to the field to play. Any of the other sports, you can have a backyard pickup game. Right, and I get that, right? I get that. I can go play I can go out to a basketball court with just a basketball and have a great time by myself. I need one other guy to have a game, right? Football, I need one other guy. We can go out to the yard and toss the pigskin around a little bit. But baseball, I can go out and have a catch, right? Me and one guy go out there. Baseball, 3 guys, we can go out there and take BP. I pitch, you bat, you shag in the outfield. We'll rotate every 5 minutes. Like, I don't know if that scrutiny holds up, man. I don't.
Yeah, all you need is an open field.
Yeah.
And 9 guys.
Texas says, Rob, I played baseball for 8 years growing up. It's fallen way further than you realize. Very few people really care, and the number is dropping. Football has casual fans. Baseball doesn't. I agree to that to some degree, Texter. I do, right? And again, because it's all about me, I gauge it by the lady friend, right? Because she's a hardcore Gamecock football fan, but she's a casual fan of everything else, right? Like, we got tickets to the Carolina Saints game. Now, she's a Saints fan now because she's with me. If she wasn't, she wouldn't, right? She used to date a Falcons fan. She's like, I'm a Saints fan now. I don't like the Falcons. Good. If you were still a Falcons fan, we'd have problems, right? Casual sports fan. When I asked her if she wanted to go to Saints-Panthers, she's like, yeah, that'd be fun. Are we going to park close? Are we getting there like 5 hours early? Because then I'm less interested. I'm like, nah, 2 hours, we tailgate, we go into the game. She's like, all right, I'm in. She had a great time. Baseball. The lady friend is not going out of her way to watch a Braves game. But a couple weeks back, I'm like, hey, Braves and the Mets have a homestand first weekend in October. Do you want to go to Atlanta to go to a Braves game? She's like, yeah, I'd love going to a game, right? Casual fan. I will occasionally come home and find her watching the NBA, right? Occasionally. Not often.
She sounds like me.
Yeah, occasionally watching the NBA. If I'm not home on NFL Sunday, she may not be like watching the game, but she will have a game on and she's like paying attention to it.
Yeah. See, I like going to the games, but you won't catch me watching it on TV, but I will watch basketball.
Yeah, casual fan.
I'll watch basketball every once in a while, too.
Do you ever watch a baseball game?
Yeah, I mean, I like going to the games.
Right, but do you ever sit at the house and watch a baseball game?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but it's not because I don't like it. It's just because I don't ever really had time and I don't really think about it. So, yeah, I would say I was a casual type of fan.
If I am watching baseball, the lady friend will sit on the couch and watch with me, right?
Yeah.
Predominantly because she likes athletes in baseball pants. Cool. Have at it, right?
Of course.
But I'm never going to go home and find her watching baseball. And it's probably the only sport, that and soccer, that I can say that. But again, I watch soccer. Like, I go to a Triumph game, she'll come to a Triumph game. If I'm watching Team USA at home, she'll sit down and watch it with me. But she's never going to just casually watch soccer. She will casually watch football. So, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe that does have something to say for it. The Fan, too many games in the Major League Baseball season. Make it a 30-game season. I will say that having the sheer number of games, I will say in having, 162 games, right? I've heard Mark Ryan say this before. He's like, by having that many games, you kind of diminish it, right? So you miss one game, you have missed what? 0.04% of a Major League Baseball. Like at the Saints, NFL, Panthers, whatever. You get 17 games. You miss 2 games, you've missed over 10% of the season. Baseball, you miss 15 games, you have not missed 10% of the season, right? So I see the argument to too many games, but again, the question mark here is Aaron Judge was just hitting, he had 4 at-bats. I didn't even ask you to watch a whole game. 4 at-bats, 4 at-bats, which take what? 3 minutes, 5 minutes if he fouls off a bunch? And that was too much? I don't know, man. I don't get it. Texter says, I think baseball popularity is dying because the cable streaming companies have control over the regional market. You can't follow a local team unless you have that company's services. You know, I agree. In fact, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that one of the tweets I send out the most is, like last Wednesday, the Braves had a noon first pitch on a Wednesday. Noon on a Wednesday. Shockingly, they didn't sell out the ballpark at noon on a Wednesday. That game was supposed to be on the MLB Network. So I'm like, dope, go home, click on the game. Nope. MLB Network has blocked out that game. Could not watch that game. I am 2 hours and 15 minutes away from Truist Park. It is noon on Wednesday. And you blocked out that game? That's a great way to get me to stop caring about the Braves. Why would I care about a team that you make it actively difficult to watch?
Right. Well,
Right?
I think streaming has made it actively difficult to watch anything that comes on live.
There's the thing. I can illegally stream the Braves all day.
Oh, yeah.
I got multiple sites that can illegally stream the Braves. But do you know how much effort that is to, like, set up a firewall and set up, what do they call it? Not a VoIP. What's the...
a
thing?
VPN?
Yeah, VPN. To set up my VPN, to set up everything to where I can stream a game. It's a pain in the butt.
It's a pain.
Right?
It really is.
So
and then it slows down your internet and everything, yeah.
Which means the stream is going to be butchery anyway.
Exactly.
Like, when you make it so damn difficult to watch when I do want to watch my team, you make it so difficult to watch the game that I'm like, all right, never mind. I'll just watch anything else. I'll watch another rerun of The Office. Well, of course your numbers are going to go down. I think that might be the best argument so far. Texter, well done. Let's take a break. Texter says, not 6'7", 235, 6'7", 285. He's a monster, and I don't see how people that big can be that athletic. Yeah, fair enough. I underestimated his weight. Texter says, I routinely go out with 2 other buddies to Sunset Park for some BP. The argument about needing a whole team is wrong. Rob, you nailed it. Texter, shoot me an email at rob.brown@thefanupstate.com because Rob Brown is playing in a charity celebrity softball game in a month, and I have not swung a baseball bat in about 6 years. So, Texter, if Rob Brown can come take some BP with you one day, hit me up at rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. I would love to come out and swing the bat with you a little bit. Love to, because I haven't played baseball in forever, and I do not want to embarrass the hell out of myself again. Back after this for Twitter trending topics on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Oh.
I'll tell you what, I'll come with you. That way you won't get embarrassed and I'll get embarrassed.
I've not swung a bat in years.
Me either.
I need to talk about this when we come back.
I perfectly broke my wife's nose playing catch with her, trying to teach my son. Yeah,
Nice. That's awesome.
it was an accident. Like when we went to the hospital, they said that I perfectly broke it. I felt like crap too.
Yeah, I bet you
I
did.
did. I felt awful.
I bet you did.
And it was during COVID, so I couldn't go in there with her. So like they're like asking her all these
worse.
questions, like
Even worse.
yeah. They were asking her all these questions. Are you okay? Do you need to speak to somebody? And she's like, no, it was an accident. It's good that they do that, though, honestly.
Yeah, of course.
Well, we were trying to teach Skylar how to catch and stuff. I was trying to play catch with him and stuff. 'Cause I used to play baseball all the time. But you know, I couldn't get him to do it. So Keo comes over and she's like, "Well, I'll throw it with you. Maybe he'll get into it." And she just missed it. Went right over her glove.
She just missed it.
Went right over her glove and right in the middle of her face. Felt so bad, dude. So we haven't played catch since.
Understandably so.
My son was only like 5, though. Maybe 6. I think he was 6 at the time.
Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen.
All right. Oh my God, it does this to me every single time. All right, let me skip my beds. And gotta grab one more for that. I got my bed. So what is it?
I got a light wellness spa. How can I help you today? Excellent. Does Tuesday 9 a.m. work? Okay. I understand. Let's see what I have in the afternoon.
Sports Radio.
He's gonna do what? Am I allowed to talk to him? I guess it's me and you for Fire Southern. Just reinforces. Yes. Bye. Bye. Oh, that's just okay. Okay, we'll get into Monday Night Football then. Let's breathe.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I could never find it.
No, it feels a little.
It's gotta be right here.
I guess it's me and you for Fire Southern the rest of the way here. Like, they will claim
It's gotta be in here somewhere.
that thing. When has the wheels started to come off this year? For Fire Southern.
I don't hear it anywhere.
Because it would have kept fading. I'm gonna buy this. Do you sound
Abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time home buyer,
I'm gonna buy this.
in the buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home, but her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document.
I'm gonna buy this. Do you sound buy?
Bye.
Buy or sell this final score by the
Agent and realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association.
98.
Was that it?
A lot of time on Saturday night.
Oh, it's not it.
This afternoon, mostly
A lot of
sunny
time
with a
on
high
Saturday
of
night.
81.
Try not
That's
to.
so not where it works.
Your neighborhood Ashley store
Hell,
has all
come
the
on.
styles.
A lot of time on Saturday night.
Dude.
A lot of time on Saturday night.
It's not.
There's some words here, and there's more. He wrote 11 questions.
We're back. All right, so I got to tell you guys real quick before we call it a day here. I'm gonna forgo Twitter trending topics to wrap up the show because I got to talk about this. So on Well, a couple of weeks ago, I got asked by a gentleman who runs the South Carolina Youth Diabetes Association if I wanted to play in their upcoming celebrity softball game. And the answer was, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I do. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. And so Daniel and the gang asked me if I wanted to play in the celebrity softball game. And I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, I'll play. Of course. Yeah, I played baseball in a number of years. Well, on Sunday, they held their draft, right? They decided to draft players. So I entered myself in the draft wearing number 3, standing 6'3", going 255, capable of playing first, third, or pitcher. Rob Brown officially entered himself into the draft. Was super stoked about that. So they had the draft this weekend. Rob Brown got selected in the draft in the second to last round. I was like the third to last player in the second to last round. Absolutely beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. Like, I'm not hurt by it, but let me just say that, you know how every year in the NFL draft or the NBA draft, you get that one guy who slides down the list a little bit? Like, slides down the list a little bit, and he's like, look, I've got one goal, and my goal is to make sure that every guy drafted above me and every person who passed on me in this draft regrets it, right? Like, I am going to make them all regret passing on me. Well, here's the thing. I knew I was going late, right? Let me give some of the other folks that are in this draft. Some of the other folks in this draft are, for instance, Ansley Gilstrap. Ansley is the assistant coach for Winthrop softball and a professional softball player. Yeah, I'm probably getting drafted after her. Drafted after that, TJ Shook. You may know TJ Shook. What with him being a professional baseball player with the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, that makes sense, right? John Coffin. John is a professional athlete. Absolutely freaking yoked. How about getting picked ahead of me? Champion Rowland played for the Cardinals, right? Like, the first few rounds were all folks that, who were like professional baseball players and professional softball players. CJ Jones played football for Clemson. Of course he got picked up above me, right? Like, of course he did. All the guys getting picked up, all pro players. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to let myself off the hook, right? Like, it's not that bad, Rob. Don't take it personally. A lot of the guys that get picked ahead of you, professional baseball and softball players. That being said, second to last round, I'm coming for blood in this celebrity softball game. That's it for me and T2. Hope you enjoyed it. Jim Rome's got you next in the jungle. Mark Ryan and Diesel got you live at 3 to take you off sides. I am going out to the backyard to throw 1,000 baseballs today. I'm coming for blood. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Later, brother.
What's the out?
It should just be regular and go into the commercials. And if there's not one, you can just go straight into the commercials.
I'll just time it out real good. All right, so there was no CBS Sports. Did you stop it yet? All right, there's no CBS Sports, so that gives me 2 minutes to figure this out. All right, crap, it's weird timing. Liners you got in here. Is it a weekday? It is a weekday.
It is a weekday.
7 seconds. Oh, that one doesn't work. Of course it doesn't.
All right, stream, you guys are awesome. Appreciate y'all. We will see you back here tomorrow. I will be very sore because I'm going full baseball workout today. It's not even a joke. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow.